The HBO series Game of Thrones is known for brutal deaths, and the Targaryen prequel House of the Dragon is no different. House of the Dragon Season 1 included the deaths of several main characters, most notably death of Lucerys Velaryon, the second son of Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. While fans go into a Game of Thrones show expecting graphic violence, some viewers may still want to know of how all these House of the Dragon characters will meet their ends. So guys, we are bringing the death of every main character in the series House of the Dragon, which is basically based on book Fire and Blood. So guys, let's start with the Jacaerys Velaryon, the pride of the senior members of House Targaryen, results in the deaths of most of their children. After losing Lucerys in the Season 1 finale, Rhaenyra's eldest son Jacaerys also dies in battle in the book. At the Battle of the Gullet, when his dragon Vermax is wounded by crossbows, Jace leaps from the dragon's back only to be shot down himself. However, before his death, Jace secures a key alliance for the Blacks by recruiting Lord Cregan Stark of Winterfell. Criston Cole. Sir Criston Cole is one of the most divisive characters in House of the Dragon, and his desire to spite Rhaenyra never wanes. He serves King Aegon II loyally until his death, becoming Hand of the King when Aegon grows tired of his grandfather Otto Hightower's conservative strategies. In the book, Cole does have a satisfying death. He dies at the battle known as the Butcher's Ball, where he is shot by Robb Rivers and 2 other archers. Rivers, whose surname suggests that he is a bastard of House Blackwood, is regarded as the most skilled archer in Westeros during his time. Aegon Targaryen. After winning the Civil War, King Aegon II does nothing about the approaching armies. He spent his time contemplating his future marriage to Cassandra Baratheon, and commissioning statues of his late brothers. With the Green armies depleted and more enemies coming, the small council realizes that Aegon is a terrible king. After that, Aegon is found dead with blood on his lips. His killer is never confirmed, although Larys Strong and Corlys Velaryon are among the suspects. Larys Strong. Larys is one of the main suspects in Aegon's murder. When Cregan Stark arrives at King's Landing, various conspirators are convicted. Many chose to join the Night's Watch to avoid execution, but Larys chooses death instead. He is beheaded by Cregan using his blade ice. His last request is that Cregan remove his bad foot from his corpse, which is granted. The sword ice is passed down to Eddard Stark and later reforged into 2 blades. First one is Widow's Wail possessed by Joffrey Baratheon, and second is Oathkeeper possessed by Brienne of Tarth. Mysaria. Mysaria appears to die in Season 1 Episode 9, The Green Council in a Fire. However, she likely survived, since she was supposed to play an important role in the war. During the Dance of Dragons, she serves as Rhaenyra's unofficial Mistress of Whisperers, the equivalent of Lord Varys, the Master of Whisperers. When Rhaenyra flees King's Landing, Mysaria remains, and is taken prisoner when the Green's forces return. She is told if she can walk through the streets of the city naked while being whipped, she will be allowed to live. However, Mysaria dies before completing the journey. Corlys Velaryon. Corlys survives the Dance of Dragons, and acts as a regent for Rhaenyra's son King Aegon III, when he inherits the throne at a young age. Corlys dies of old age and is buried at sea. In House of the Dragon Season 1, he expresses his regret to his wife Rhaenys for spending so long trying to put a member of his family on the Iron Throne. His granddaughters Baela and Rhaena are the only members of Corlys' immediate family to live through the war, and he feels survivor's guilt, dedicating the rest of his life to protecting the family's legacy. Joffrey Velaryon. Rhaenyra's son Joffrey dies during a riot in King's Landing. He is afraid for the safety of his dragon and tries to help turn the tide by riding his mother's dragon Syrax, but he falls 200 feet. His dragon Tyraxes and several other dragons are killed by rioters. Since Joffrey's older brothers both died before him, he is briefly heir to the Iron Throne. Joffrey and his brothers' deaths emphasize the tragedies brought by the war. Aemond Targaryen. Those who are hoping for a showdown between Aemond and Daemon are getting their wish fulfilled. With Aemond riding Vhagar and Daemon riding Caraxes, they battle each other above the God's Eye, the largest lake in Westeros. Both dragons are heavily wounded before Daemon leaps from Caraxes, and stabs Aemond through his remaining eye, sending both riders and dragons plunging into the water. Aemond and Vhagar's bodies are found years later. Aemond is as morally culpable as the rest of his family, but he sees himself as dedicated to them, and rides into battle multiple times to protect his brother's claim to the throne. Helaena Targaryen. Daemon Targaryen sends assassins to murder one of Aegon and Helaena's sons, hoping to avenge Luke's death. Their other son is later killed after escaping King's Landing, with his father and sister. After her son's deaths, Helaena becomes depressed, and she eventually throws herself from one of the castle's towers. Helaena is depicted as a sweet introverted young woman who was beloved by the people of King's Landing, and her children were mere toddlers when they died. Their deaths are among the most horrific events in this universe. Otto Hightower. Otto is executed as a traitor when Rhaenyra's forces take King's Landing, while his daughter Alicent and granddaughter Helaena are kept alive as prisoners. Otto was determined to have someone of his blood on the Iron Throne, and manipulated his daughter to accomplish this. Some believe that Otto is the real villain of House of the Dragon, and many important players consider his death as a victory. Rhaenyra is fighting a war to be the first reigning queen of Westeros, while Otto's actions are all in service of upholding a patriarchal society, in which his family wins the throne. Rhaenys Targaryen. Rhaenys rides into battle on her dragon Meleys, and engages in a fight against both Aemond and Aegon on their dragons. Outnumbered, Rhaenys and Meleys are both killed, but Aegon is severely injured, and Aemond rules Westeros in his place while he recovers. Rhaenys knew that she would not survive the battle, but she forged ahead anyway. There is an interesting parallel between the deaths of Rhaenys and her daughter Laena. Laena wanted to die a dragon rider's death and ordered Vhagar to burn her to ash, rather than die in childbirth. Alicent Hightower. Alicent survives the war and spends her remaining days in a tower, mourning the deaths of her children, and towards the end of her life comes to hate the color green. Alicent is a complex character because she supports her malevolent son's claim to the throne, but she has also endured years of mistreatment. Alicent makes these decisions because she is trying to grasp some power for herself. Her death frames her as a tragic figure, because no matter what she did to make her own life better, it only led to more heartbreak. She dies at a relatively young age, from an outbreak of the winter fever. Daemon Targaryen. Daemon dies in an epic battle with Aemond, Daemon stabbing his opponent in the eye with his blade Dark Sister. After both sides are plunged into the waters of the God's Eye, Daemon's dragon Caraxes manages to crawl to the shore before dying, but Daemon's body is never found. Daemon is also a morally gray character, but he is dedicated to his brother's legacy and is willing to do anything for Rhaenyra to claim the throne, no matter how unethical it is. He may have succeeded in preserving Rhaenyra's legacy though, as their two sons Aegon and Viserys survive the war and inherit the throne. Rhaenyra Targaryen. After being driven out of King's Landing by rioters, Rhaenyra wanders Westeros, trying to raise enough money to escape the country. She is captured at Dragonstone by Aegon's forces, where her half-brother feeds her to his dragon Sunfire. Rhaenyra fights relentlessly to become the first reigning queen of the Seven Kingdoms, but it only leads to her doom. Her fate reflects the House of the Dragon's central theme of the conflict's futility. Rhaenyra's death is spoiled in Game of Thrones Season 3 Episode 4 Now His Watch is Ended, when Joffrey Baratheon tells Margaery Tyrell about these events, which are now the stuff of Westeros history. So guys, that's it. If you guys like my content, please like this video, and for more amazing videos don't forget to subscribe Soups 24/7. So guys, thank you for watching, see you soon.